All right, yeah. Welcome to the GM Roundtable. We got me, MJ. We got both Austins here, Austin Meller and Austin Stutz.
Hello.
Hello. I kind of figured, so this started with the thought of I'd love to just have the equivalence of like a book club of GMing.
All right.
And who better GMs that I know than the two other people I know who've GM'd more, if not as much as I have. And that's kind of why I asked you two to kind of join this with me, is because we've all ran multiple campaigns. We've ran multiple systems. We've all been players in each other's campaigns. And so we have a pretty wide net of experience, I think, when it comes to GMing collectively. We've GM'd for multiple years, several years.
Minor tangential. When did y'all start playing D&D? Like, when was the first game that y'all remember? Like,
do you want official or technical?
For King of Lost Us. I don't know. You do you.
So I'm pretty sure this is the answer for both me and MJ. In terms of like first time doing any kind of role-playing game, that actually started with us on the mission. No dice, no rules. It was all narrative. We didn't even necessarily know that what we were doing was role-playing game. Did you start doing it after you heard about me doing it?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I guess I'm the forward of that. And I started doing it because of a companion I was with who was having a really hard time connecting with. Very interesting character. And I was like, okay, what's one of the best ways to connect with people? And that's games. And so my idea was going into it like, okay, what if there was Skyrim, but I was the console?
Okay.
So very much coming full circle, Skyrim was originally, based on role-playing games or based on D&D, that was based on, so kind of coming full circle there, where Skyrim was inspired me to accidentally kind of, what's the word, convergent evolution, or no, evolution, whatever term it is, back to just a role-playing game.
Evolution on a mission, you say?
Just went full circle.
Just absolutely full circle. And so what was really kind of interesting about that start is there was literally no prep. When I started this, I literally said I had like one prompt. I had like the start. And I said, you can be anything you want. You can be any race that you want. Any skill will be available for you to learn. The premise I gave was those worlds trying to kill you. Your job is to survive as long as possible. If you die, you restart, and everything gets slightly harder.
You basically build the equivalent of a roguelike.
A little bit, yeah. Except things got harder instead of easier.
Huh.
And the reason I justified that is like, well, if it was easier or the same difficulty, you could just do the exact same actions and basically not have to worry about death. Like, it basically reloads the save, and I was like, I don't want that. So, like, everything will get harder. So the pro of learning more about the world is that, you'll be able to handle it better, but everything will be harder to compensate for that.
I've read a web comic like that. I need to send it to you. I think you enjoy the heck out of it.
Well, I'll be honest, this sounds a lot like now that we've listened to or spread a lot of our books that we've read. This sounds a lot like Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Okay.
Honestly.
Yeah.
100%.
And the funny thing is, my two main sources of inspiration were Skyrim, first of all, but the second one was actually Dark Souls 2, which has the mechanic that every time you die, you lose a bit of your max HP until you manage to recover it somehow.
What was it, like the effigy of humanity?
Yeah. You lost your humanity as you went along, and so you lost max HP. So I'm like, okay, that seems like a good way to kind of make it be like, okay, if you die, it's not just reroll it. Like,
I know Dark Souls 2 was like controversial, but I still loved the ideas in that game.
It's Dark Souls 2 is kind of a love it or hate it game.
Yeah. But back to the question at hand. What were you like, 18, 19, I assume?
I think I just barely turned 19.
Okay. And about the same for you?
About the same time.
Okay, because on mission time and all that. I was 18 as well when I started. My situation was very different. I mean, I was at home. I had physically bound to a wheelchair, so, disabled, all that. We were trying to get me to apply for SSI to get me to go to college. But I fell in love with Critical Role. I was watching it on the daily. I was getting through 2 episodes a day, which is 8 hours, like just nonstop listening through.
Oh my god,
those sessions are long, live action, like
4-hour sessions each.
Non-cut, non-abridged.
No, yeah.
Those are long game
You're a
sessions.
touch younger than me and MJ, so what year would this have been?
2015, 2016, thereabouts.
Oh, okay, so actually exactly same time.
Honestly, the same
Thereabouts,
year.
yeah.
It was 2015. Summer 2015 is when I started, so I was a year older than you, but same time frame as your year ago.
Yeah, pretty much. But for me, I got into it. I was like, I really want to play a D&D campaign, but I didn't really have anyone to do it at the time. So I was just looking online, saying like, hey, where can I browse to find D&D campaigns? And I found this website called Roll20.net, where literally you went in.
Oh, that was seriously your first experience?
Oh yeah!
Holy crap! Dude.
I went into the deep end.
Dang, that's brave.
Oh no, it was a mess. It was an absolute mess, but it worked. But basically, like, you go onto this website, and it is the most basic of forums you will ever see. It's gotten a lot better now, but
I played Roll20.
Yeah, you have? Okay.
Yeah. Like randos, yeah.
It's just white. It's a white page with just like accents of pink every now and then. But like the way that Roll20 works was like you would go into it, you would find a just people being like, hey, looking for players for a game, looking for a DM and players, et cetera, et cetera. It's just a forum. And what you would literally do is you would make a note or like a part of a message and just give basically the equivalent of a job application of what you wanted to play, how long you've played, and what character you're bringing to the table. And it it gave me experience on like getting jobs. I'll give you that, but like it was an absolute
real life skills, right?
Right, yeah, pretty much.
You had to sell yourself on this website. Like it was, absolutely.
For a while, I said I was an artist.
Nice.
That got me into a couple of games. I never said I was a good artist. I never lied. I am not a great artist. I'm a terrible artist. But
Put on some paper, that counts.
Yeah, no. I think I still have some.
Your hands were great. So
I got some. I got some chicken scratch sitting around.
I sold my soul to the devil. That's. I got great hands, but everything else is shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like Roll20, freaking. I think I would prefer y'all's situation. Like even, I don't know. Like how did y'all make it work?
We have two such extreme ends of the spectrum. We have like
pure creativity.
Yeah, like pure creativity. I developed on its own in a way like heavily inspired by the things that were inspired by the things that were inspired by the things. And then we have like not even knowing Dungeons & Dragons even really exists. In my case, I didn't even know what that was.
That's so interesting.
Straight up to I want to play D&D.
I want to play.
I will find a way to play.
I will do this. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not just whoever's right next to me right now. It's I have to go find a group who already knows what this is and like become part of the community basically from the get-go.
By the power of my parents' shitty internet, I will do this. I have nothing better to do.
I will say, like from our mission experience, that the way especially the way you ran it with multiple people.
Yeah.
And well, you had some.
To clarify, for people listening, one-on-one multiple times.
Yes, one-on-one. This was not a group. Yeah. Normally, like I think you did it like one time when we were all in one apartment, like where you ran us all there.
But this is GM and player one-on-one sessions. Pick up and play whatever you want while we're out knocking doors and such.
And I will say, like that, I think that requires an immense amount of trust and cooperation when you don't have rules to arbitrate a decision versus another or a ruling, how something happens or goes. When it's literally your decision if something succeeds or not. It's not a random roll of the dice, win or lose. It's
funny that you say that. It's really funny that you say that because this started because my companion did not trust me and did not respect me. And I was just trying to find some way to like learn better how he thinks so I could connect with him in some way. And that actually shaped a lot of my early philosophy with the game. That was my pitch. Everything is trying to kill you. I openly was blatantly saying, I'm going to be hostile towards you. I am not a partner in this. I'm a challenge to be overcome. And so in a way, there was a rule. If I can screw you over, I will. I would allow for like progression. I would allow for things like that. But like The way I always did this, so I'm just gonna give you guys the opening pitch of the World 1 campaign as always went. Essentially, you'd pick your race or whatever, pick your character. There wasn't classes per se. I did have you. There's kind of a class. I had you pick a type of magic that you would start out proficiency with. Now, this isn't like D&D, like schools of magic. This is literally just pick a type. And so the first, actually, was that his first character? That might have been his second character.
I feel like you could have made this a little bit simpler if you had been like, just pick a Pokemon.
Honestly, it's kind of like, but the thing is, I wanted it to be complete and utter freedom.
Yeah.
I wanted there to be no restrictions whatsoever. I didn't even have a map of this place when I first came out. The map developed as people explored. They said I would go in this direction. I'd say, okay, what's out there? I would just come up with something, and that's what. Yeah. Anyway, tangent. But I would have to pick a race. And like, okay, I think I had to pick one skill and one magic type. It's like, okay, my one skill is, and it could be literally anything. I'm decent with a bow, or I'm really good at selling things, or like, I let them pick whatever they want. I can't remember what the first character concept was the guy made. He died not super early, but somewhat early. His second character is the one that got like really far, and so I'm just gonna go kind of remembering off that because that's what I remember a lot better.
Yeah.
He was a sleep mage. He had sleep magic. And so his very basic level 0 spell, whatever that I gave him, was a very simple like drowsy spell. It would actually not make anything out, wouldn't make a fall asleep, but just make it drowsy. And he had to use it more and more. And that was something I told him, like, the more you use or do anything, the better you'll be at it.
Very Skyrim.
Very Skyrim, very RuneScape, a lot of inspiration sources. And that actually made the magic system really fun. We'll get into that a little later, I think. But this is what it was, is, okay, you know nothing about this world, you've just been dropped into it, and try not to be too obvious. Another big inspiration was Magic Gathering the Planeswalkers. Thinking how interesting it was that Planeswalkers had to more or less try to blend into a new environment right from the get-go and all that. So that was another big inspiration there. You dropped in, and you are in front of a gallows with about 5 other people. These hooded creatures are going and hanging you one by one. But at the last second...
Gosh, I remember those.
Yeah, at the last second, some kind of distraction
Probably not your
happens.
favorite thing in the world. That's very horror adjacent.
And this is just straight up ripping off the Skyrim intro. You're about to be executed, and some soldier saves your ass.
But like it's so iconic. It's such a good way to start something.
Yeah.
Because it's immediately throwing you into like, this is a problem you need to solve, or you're going to die.
Yeah. And so the character next to you, Roland. I just remembered his name was Roland.
Yes.
Roland gets you out. You two manage to book it. He knows of a nearby little safe house. Takes you down a trapdoor under a ladder. You can stay there till nightfall if you want. There's basic weaponry in there, so you can get kind of your essentially super basic gear. Just very Skyrim-esque. And I remember the first thing my character did is he's like, okay, this entire world is trying to kill me. I don't trust this Roland guy. I'm going to take, I think he just took like a short sword or something, and I'm gonna get my ass out of here. Like, it's the middle of the night. He's like, that's fine. Crawls in the trapdoor. Within 5 feet of the trapdoor, gets attacked by wolves. Manages to...
Right, you're trying to kill him.
Yeah, I'm trying to kill him. I think he climbs up a tree and uses like his sword to like keep him from being able to get up to him. He spends the night in a tree.
Nice.
The wolves eventually go away and come daytime, and then he stumbles over to the town. So that's the context. That's what I draw people into. It was very blatantly, I am hostile, you have to overcome this, but you can do whatever you want.
No, but that's awesome. Like that really shows kind of where we started on our honestly our role playing journey, but also our GM journey. Because I think when I started, it was a little more. It was less like adversarial when I
Your
started.
style was way less adversarial. You were so much nicer to your players than I was.
I kind of wanted to make it where because I based mine very science fiction, and I think my inspiration was I want people to be excited to discover what's next, to be excited and exploring what's out there. And so even then, like your start was the same for everyone, but my start was different for every person I ran.
Was it really?
Yes, and I could overhear people talking who ran through like a story with me, and they would talk about like, oh, my start went like this, your start went like that, my start went like this, and they'd compare notes as to they started differently than each other in their journey.
It's funny too because the start you gave me was very similar to the start I gave my players.
Yeah.
You put me in a burning, exploding ship.
Mm-hmm.
I had to get out right then and there.
Yep. And you justified so hard every step. Whenever I tried to put a difficult decision in front of you, whenever I tried to put like some sort of problem, you would justify every step as to like why you could get away with not having to make the tough call or sacrifice an innocent guy. Or it was really fun. It was great.
Just a different perspective. I remember very distinctly my alarm clock is going off in your start, and I took the batteries from the alarm.
Yes, you scrounge everything like a freaking loop goblin.
Because that was
The
in my
correct
mind.
response, honestly.
As in my mind, they were adversarial. They were super tough. They were, you better take every advantage you can get because everything's going to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And then your world ended up being not nearly that harsh, which was very fun. Though, very, very fun. But it definitely was just interesting to be like, okay, this is an evolution. Like I kind of started this. Like you started doing this because you heard about me doing it. And even just kind of two people removed. Did you start doing it with Kimball? Is that why?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Kimball, second person who ran the game with, I think.
Yeah, I think that's right. He was very early.
Yeah, second person I ran the game with.
And you went through like a dozen lives.
I have no idea how many you were. He got very far though. He did well. He did really well. Eventually.
Goddamn.
But yeah, that's how MJ got to start. I played a game with Kimball, and Kimball's like, I want to do this. And then MJ ran a game for him. So even just like two people removed, that's not a huge removal.
Yeah.
And the difference in style was already so stark. I mean, entirely different setting, completely. It's funny too because Kimball ran me through a game, and it was modern time.
Yeah.
So like the timeline just advanced, like ancient, current, future.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, I didn't even think about that. That's really fun. Yeah.
So this already kind of went through my second question, which was what got us to GM for the first time.
Oh, goodness. I mean, technically we didn't go through my story.
Oh, well, yes. That was you playing. What got you to run a game for the first time?
I mean...
How long did you do Rule 20 before you found, like, in-person people?
Literally, I think it was y'all.
Really?
Yeah, it was about 3 years, I think.
Oh, my gosh.
Because I think we started, or at least not you two, but, like, me, Kevin, Jess, and Brian. That like Pathfinder campaign was like 2018, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, I think it was sooner. It was like 2017. But yeah, no, that was my first like in-person game, I think.
Wow.
I think I had a few more here and there, but really, no, I stuck with y'all for a lot of it. But my first time DMing was right after my first time playing. I played in a D&D campaign, and then I DM'd the next session.
That's great.
So, like, you played in a campaign, like one session, or like a campaign, a few sessions?
One session in a campaign. And then
Holy crap. And you decided whole hog.
I mean,
Yeah, why? Like, what was the first...
Because my DM was shit.
You just thought, I can do a better job than
I
this.
literally did. I was such an arrogant asshole.
That's so great.
Okay, so it was the first people that actually like accepted my application on Roll20. I went into it. I was like, hey, cool. Like I want to try this. We started on Skype of all places.
Dang. Holy crap.
We were playing basically, it was a homebrew world that this guy was making. I don't remember his name. But basically it was like going through all this stuff and like, but we go into the session and like we're having fun. Like we get through 5 hours of like a session. It was a long session, but by the end of it, we had already with this DM had a castle that we could use as a home base. I had a set of overpowered assassin's armor because I went off on my own, and that took like 2 hours of the session. It just like it wasn't great. It wasn't good. Like we were just really young kids still like. And then I don't know. I was just like, hey, can I try can I give DMing a try and see what happens? So next session, he lets me have full reign.
Oh, same group though.
Yeah, same group.
Holy crap!
In this world?
In this
In
world.
the same campaign?
We were talking about like switching it up and saying because
Holy crap!
he wanted to be a player as well.
But he gave you control over this world.
The whole thing.
Dang.
Which I don't know. Like I already love storytelling, so like going to DMing wasn't too big of a deal. Like I already was figuring out the rules. I was doing whatever finding the vibe that I wanted. Unfortunately, it went to crap because I wanted to teach the group consequences for their actions. They decided to take this weapon out of a cemetery. They couldn't read the inscription underneath the weapon, but basically they took it with them, and the whole town got pissed at them, including the Thieves Guild that was part of the town, which then proceeded to kill that DM's character.
Holy crap.
I was going to immediately bring him back, but he made a whole argument about, no, my character's going to have brain damage. My character's going to have brain damage, even though he was just magically healed, which completely, it just completely threw the whole entire session out the window, and it was just like, eh. And then I think I left that group soon after. In retrospect, it really wasn't a good time, but I learned.
Well, this is a good segue to the next question, then. What about being a GM surprised you? Especially the first time. Or the subsequent next few times.
I think this is going to be a pretty universal experience. The actions of my players.
Yeah.
Which was very much the point of me starting, is I was trying to understand this guy better. See, he did not want to like me. He did not want to get to know me better. It's a long story with this particular guy, but I found out later that he was actively trying to undermine my self-confidence, and to use his words, he wanted to quote unquote destroy my spirit.
Why?
Yeah.
Whole nother story.
Yeah, whole nother story. This dude was kind of crazy. We later made up and things were fine, but definitely a very interesting point of my life, to say the least. And that's why I think so much my GM perspective was shaped like that, is I knew this guy was actually antagonistic towards me, which is why that the whole he must have really trusted you. He trusted me. The only thing he could trust is if someone was trying to be antagonistic to him. He didn't trust people being nice to him. That's why he wanted to destroy me so bad, as he thought that all my niceness was just me being fake. That was trying to manipulate him. He just had a lot of baggage, honestly. I don't want to it's a complicated story to say this. But so that's why my entire mindset was from the get-go, this is antagonistic. But it was a way for me to see how he worked through problems. And hopefully for him to understand me a little bit better. It was meant to be a bit of a give and take. But yeah, with that in mind, I mean, Homeboy, when I was we're a bunch of LDS missionaries and we can't do anything wicked or whatnot.
Oh no.
This whole you can do whatever you want thing. He was ruthless.
He rolled with it?
He was absolutely ruthless.
Oh no.
In ways that I could have never seen coming.
Would you say this is your first experience with a legitimate murder hobo?
That's the thing is no, because he was too clever about it.
Oh.
He didn't just kill people just for the sake of killing people.
No, but this was evil, dastardly shit.
Yeah, one of his favorite shows was House of Cards.
Oh no.
Which, if you don't know much about House of Cards, it's about a guy trying to become president, and it's political scheming and backstabbing. And Homeboy just loved the main character of that show. He thought he was so clever, so cool. So it was basically an evil campaign. It was the first campaign ever.
Wasn't that main character Kevin Spacey?
Maybe, yeah.
Who?
I haven't seen the show. He just told me a lot about it. But
was arrested for very bad things. Anyway,
but
yeah, I mean, this guy idolized him. So he played this character to just be ruthless. His second character, the one that got really far, eventually became known as the Nightmare King, and he raised an army of evil monsters to take over the kingdom.
I really hope that. I hope that you kept that character and just just insert him in as a villain every now and then for campaigns.
Yeah,
that was a recurring thing in my campaigns. There'd be hints and callbacks to other players. I would try to make them not as big of a deal because it's the new player story.
Oh, 100%.
But if they were in certain places at certain times, they would see events the other players had done, or they could find magic items the other players had created. There was the staff of the Nightmare King.
Or interact with the same people that previous people did.
Yeah, there is a staff of the Nightmare King that's hidden up in the northern mountains where he had his base, full of his evil monsters. Homeboy opened up portals to hell, like straight up evil campaign was his first limit.
That's wild. Yeah, it was.
So that's what surprised me. The actions of my players.
I honestly like to call those players warlords. Like, they're not murder hobos.
Yes.
You can never call them murder hobos because, honestly, it becomes to a point where, like, you're either scared of what they're going to do or you're honestly kind of impressed about the actions that they take, and you're just like, damn. It's like watching a documentary on Attila the Hun. Like, it's just like just crazy stuff.
Yeah, the manipulation, the scheming, and the fact that he chose sleep magic, which eventually turned into nightmare magic, by the way.
Holy crap!
That's the branch he just poured more into.
That's awesome.
It was, and like it was a perfect. I wanted the magic to be kind of reflective of the person's personality and like their temperament, their like ways of solving problems. And that was so perfect for him, just subtle, subconscious, fear, like using fear as a motivator and ways of like manipulation. It was really cool, honestly.
To quote Machiavellian very poorly, what's better, to be loved or to be feared? Or is it to be respected or to be feared?
Yeah.
One of the two. Anyway, to go back to the question, I'd say...
Yeah, what surprised you as GM?
How fun it is. I don't think... Okay. I should never go to Vegas. People should know this. I should never go to Vegas. I would have such a bad gambling addiction. It's a problem. I found my solution to it being D&D, because you can gamble with dice all the time. Like, you don't know what the dice is going to roll. With DMing, it takes it to that next level. I don't think I got more of a rush from DMing than anything else, of just like, my player just going, I want to try this. I want to attempt to fire a hook from our ship to attach to a purple worm to ride it away from this tidal wave of worms that will kill us if it touches us. Okay, roll for it. Let's see what happens. Like, that is the most fun I will ever have, I think, of just seeing the ingenuity of someone and just watching them, like, success or fail, just watching them, like, enjoy the show as you're just kind of weaving it together with words. Like, that is, I don't know.
It's a gamble where you can't lose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no wrong answer to D&D, which is the beauty in it, in my opinion.
We'll get to that question later.
Okay, there is wrong in D&D.
I'll contest that point.
There's lines, but there's a large area that you can.
I think what surprised me the most when in GM for the first time, both with this pure narrative system and with rules, is how much trust the players put in you.
Oh my gosh, seriously. Yeah.
Like, just how much they just believe everything you say. It's wild. Like, you just say whatever shit you want, and they'll just roll with it. It's 100%. Fantastic. And I think that in and of itself gave a lot more confidence in me to do this again and again. To not be afraid to run a game or run a campaign when they're willing to just roll with it. It's a lot less pressure, and a lot more. You feel like you have tons of wiggle room in how you play.
It is amazing what your players will believe you have prepped.
Yes. Holy moly.
Oh, dude. I sometimes I wish I could like do the prep work that I've seen from other DMs, where it's just like, okay, they have a full 2-page essay of bullet points of stuff that could happen and could be going into. Me, I'm just sitting here like I have a paragraph maybe of like, okay, this is what's going to happen, and then I'm going to play with it from here. And just like, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, and they're both fun either way.
That's definitely something we can touch on later. Is
prep styles?
Prep styles, how much preparation, what's right or wrong amounts of preparation, what's the right things to prep. Yeah, I have a whole list of questions just on GM prep that we can touch on. But I wholeheartedly very, very similar experiences about that. So to the next question then, what keeps you coming back to GMing? What gets you excited to run another campaign or another session or another one shot?
Settings. I think for me is, well, okay. Systems, kind of. I think we all have this issue.
Yeah.
Read a new system and we want to run it so bad because it sounds so cool.
But I think that's it's more where it's placed than what the actual rules are. The rules are cool, but
Sometimes it legitimately is like the rule system being like, oh, this is super sick. What, like, the most recent campaign I've been running has been L5R, Legend of the Five Rings. It is samurai era Japan style fantasy, mixed in with a bunch of other little Asian cultures and knots and things. But one thing that I really loved about the setting was the primary reason, but one thing I loved about it, one thing that made me want to run it so bad was I don't know if any other system so beautifully incorporates the lore of the setting into the mechanics. In fact, it's called the Legend of the Five Rings, and your stats come down to these 5 rings. Each ring adding 1 physical and 1 mental attribute, and it's like philosophy woven into it. It was such a cool concept to see, and the way that like character creation encourage you to go super into the culture of this and being like, okay, a disadvantage I can take is being too attractive. People notice me now, like things like that, or like, oh, true love being a disadvantage is so good. Like it just plays so heavily into its genre, into its setting, into everything. And so I think for the most part, it's the setting that gets me wanting to run the next campaign. But there are times where like the rules have a big impact.
I think I'm the opposite. I like just worlds. Like I love the idea of just building out a world. Like recently, like for example, we've done everything. We've done. We haven't really done sci-fi yet as much. You two have done sci-fi.
But yeah, he's run Starfinder, Star Wars.
I haven't done as much sci-fi as I'd like to, but like I love like the world of like cyberpunk.
Right? Yeah,
Fragmentar, yeah. Like the world of cyberpunk, Shattered, like just apocalypse worlds, like anything like that, it just gets your gander of like, okay, what can we do in this world that is going to make us a legend or anything like that? That is what brings me back into like, let me see what my players can do. Let's see them at their top, their pinnacle, their peak.
Speaking of Shattered, another time where I love the system, I love the setting. Well, also one of the big things that drew me to it was the character creation. Maybe it's just character creation that I like. I don't think I care about anything else now. Now that I'm saying this, like maybe I just love the character creation system. Because with Shattered, you literally buy each thing with experience points. There's no class, there's no like rigid thing. Like you can do whatever you want, and that level of freedom was really cool.
They actually, they just released another alpha. I needed to go find that
to see if they've actually made it playable.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Hey, if the Shattered people ever happen to listen to this,
we love you.
We love you so much. First edition was so good.
The second edition needs a little work, but we understand.
Well, it's not fully released.
We appreciate you letting us.
Well, we had one of the earliest alpha versions, and we were so excited to run it. We run through the rules. We go, how the are we supposed to run half these rules?
Yeah,
there's missing important things like how to buy items.
I think the Shattered First Edition was absolutely gold. I think you're trying too hard to fix a lot of things that aren't broken. Is my only feedback on that. I think there's a lot of things that are already perfect and beautiful. And it was just reinventing the wheel a little bit.
It was just missing enough content to round it out.
I think that was the biggest thing. Is like I don't
give us a bestiary. Give me a bestiary. My soul is yours.
Or give more info.
I mean, there was one,
like, a little more detail on how the ships were supposed to work.
Yeah,
really.
Maybe that's what we needed. We just needed extra modules. We didn't need a second edition. We just needed.
And that's what I really thought.
An expansion. Yeah. Give us an expansion.
We love expansions.
Give us a DLC.
We will empty our wallets for expansions.
Absolutely.
One system that has done that wonderfully, Starfinder.
Oh my god!
They just cranked out so much extra content. There's 140 playable races.
That's just Paizo in general. Pathfinder's been doing that for years.
Yes, that is true. That is just
Starfinder has felt like just so expansive.
Like nonsense.
It's space.
There you go.
That's why it's leading into the genre. I love that shit.
If it's not expansive, we have a problem.
I can't tell you how excited I think everyone else, or like everyone was in some of the one shots I ran, or like just small campaigns. Just the vastly different races you could play. You could play a bear with opposable thumbs. You can bear. You can play
Excuse us, Sir
a
Barrington.
floating brain. You can play a tiny little octopus the size of your finger that controls a body of water the size of a humanoid to fill in the armor that they walk around in.
Oh,
Like, just-
We should definitely do more Starfinder stuff, man.
I'd love to. I'll probably do it after Venice or.
Some of my favorite like campaign moments come from Starfinder. Just the stories of it.
Oh my gosh. We'll go over the story some other time.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, I think more than anything, what gets me back into GMing again and again is we consume a lot of media. We consume tons of stuff from every facet, from reading, listening, watching content on YouTube or shows or TV, movies. And there's always this point where I see something, whether it's from history or from obscure lore or myth or legend, or again, like something that we can consume in media all the time, that just triggers a spark in my head of, oh gosh, what if we take this concept, throw it in here, or presented it this way, and holy cow, like that could lead to whole branches of possibilities of stories that we could tell. And I'll latch onto that and start a whole campaign from that.
That's honestly another thing is like, how many times have y'all just seen like a scene online? I'm just like, I wonder if I can do that. I wonder if I can take that and spin it to make it mine.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's only so much you can do with like, I mean, that's kind of your major. Like you know more than I, but there's only so much you can do with this. Like we've told as a human race so many different types of stories and so many different ways of like. There's no real way of like trying to get into, making something entirely new. You just have to like kind of take and like, that's kind of how GMing works is you're just building blocks of whatever you've seen or whatever you've grown up with and just making a tower with it and being like, behold my stuff.
Yeah. Now please add your stuff.
Like literally when I took notes when we did our mission worlds. About my world, and I actually like threw in this little intro to myself about, so none of this is an original idea, this is all heavily inspired by, and I listed like 24 games and shows and movies of science fiction and such.
It's primarily Mass Effect, right?
It was a lot of Mass Effect, Halo, Star Wars, Star Trek.
Which the great thing about that is, I've consumed some sci-fi. I'm decently a sci-fi nerd, but like I never played Mass Effect and never watched Star Trek. Those are I dare say, two of your biggest inspirations. Mm-hmm. So to me, everything you were presenting was brand new and creative, and I had never heard of anything like it. So,
but like from the get-go, I felt like a plagiarist.
And that's kind of the wonderful thing about it is, I think this is why as a collaborative medium, this is so great, because it lets you show off your favorite things to your friends that they might have not otherwise interacted with, or might have not even necessarily liked. Like I don't know if I would actually like playing Mass Effect that much. I've never tried. Mm-hmm. I really should.
We recommend.
But like you thoroughly enjoyed it, and who knows, maybe I'll try it and the gameplay wouldn't click or whatever, and then I would never think about it. But because of that game you ran for me, I think of those Mass Effect concepts very fondly. And I think a lot of the alien races were Mass Effect based, right?
Yeah.
And so like I'm sure if I were to see those alien races in Mass Effect, I would probably have this legitimate sense of nostalgia and like, oh, it's these guys again, despite the fact that.
It would be in reverse though, because you would have nostalgia for his games, not the actual games itself.
Well, it's so much more personal.
Oh, 100%. It's like, I know that guy. He made a version.
And kind of back to saying where like it's all this the remix. There's only so many stories that can be told, and we've probably told them all at this point. Which not necessarily a point I 100% agree with, but I get the idea.
No, yeah.
Humans tend to tell the same stories.
Mm-hmm.
It's a way for you to learn and appreciate and engage with those stories on a much deeper personal level than it might otherwise be.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally have tattoos of like campaigns. There's this one on my arm. 6 years of my life went into this tattoo and this campaign, and then I have another one over here that's like 5. Like, I fell in love with just being, someone else for like just consistently once a week for like 4 hours, like just imagining a world, a life of someone else that I created.
Yeah.
And like just being a player for that was fantastic. Being a GM, you do it even more on a more expansive scale of just like you're putting yourself into 98% of this world that you're building. And then you're throwing out another 2% to a group of people that you may or may not know in some semblance, or you're incredibly close to and you just want to get closer to just see what they do with your 98%.
Yeah. That's a really interesting concept that you're touching on, of like being someone else as a player versus as a GM. I feel like it's almost more of being yourself.
Yeah.
Like it's presenting a large portion of yourself as not just a person, but as ideas and themes and other aspects and such. I think that's a really interesting concept. Being a player is just, pretending to be someone else while being a GM is expanding yourself a bit more.
100%. Like you're.
No, I don't know about you guys, but the first time I legit played the game, or I played an RPG game, like personality-wise, I played as me.
Yeah.
I just did what I would do.
Yeah.
I think everyone's done that at least
it's
once.
once you got a few games in where even like it wasn't just play a random character that I thought would be fun. And there's certainly parts to that, but there's always in the back of my head it's I feel like my character creation is always a little weird whenever I'm jumping into a new campaign. But at the very least, I feel like when I'm playing, I'm exploring a certain part of myself in a very big way. I get to focus the lens of my inner perspective as to, okay, who is MJ when you really exaggerate this, and what does that look like to him if that became a bigger part of his character, or a bigger part of his personality.
Yeah.
I honestly make the characters the exact same way. Like, I always believe characters have a little bit of yourself somewhere in them, whether you want them there or not.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can be terrifying to really look into them.
100%.
It can be terrifying in a really existential level to question, who am I? And I feel like playing RPGs has been a very safe space to explore that, to learn about yourself.
So maybe like playing is focusing on a very singular aspect of yourself, while GMing is focusing on a large aspect.
I think so.
It's like
Absolutely focusing on yourself as a whole.
yeah, at least in certain things. That's really interesting. And on that point, that's why I think it's so hard for some players after they've played a few RPG campaigns they'll try to be like, okay, I've already done this idea, I want to try something totally different, and they'll play a character that does not. They're really very much not used to. I think everyone has at least one character they can think of.
I think a good expression is like they feel uncomfortable in that character's skin.
Yeah, exactly. And they're going for something like, oh, I want to experience this. I want this, like this completely different thing as part of just trying things out. I think one of the most like memorable ones I have for that, and sorry, Ash, you're not here, but there was a character that Ash played where she normally loves playing charismatic people, loving people, because she as a person just loves people. She's extremely friendly. And she tried playing this very gruff, non-charismatic character.
Was that the first Shatter campaign?
That was the first Shatter campaign, yeah. Or was that Fract?
No, that was Shattered.
Oh, Shattered. Okay. Yeah, on the ship, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she struggled so hardcore to find ways to solve some of her problems because I don't think she put enough of herself into that character.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was trying to do something completely different than what she's always done, and she's always involved herself pretty heavily in all her characters. I think everyone has some character that they've played where they're like, man, I just did not connect. It just was not me. I'm trying to think of a specific one for myself right now. I'm not thinking comes to mind, but I do remember with the Cyberpunk campaign, I felt like I was having trouble with a lot of my characters before, where none of them were quite as fun as I wanted them to be. And so I said, screw it, I'm going to go back to basics. I'm going to play something that I know I already enjoy. And I made a character. The entire point of the character is not me thinking, what's this theme I want to explore? What's this? It was just, I want this character to be everything that I find fun about playing an RPG, putting it into one character. That was Manifesto.
and it was fun.
One of my favorite characters I've ever played.
I think that what you're saying is very important. Like every once in a while, you just kind of need a bit of a reset of center yourself again, like be yourself again, even in a fantasy setting.
Comfort picks.
Yeah,
Exactly. Like you just need a little bit of comfort every now and then.
Yeah. I mean, I can give you two that you GM'd for me, Rex and Eddie. Like,
yeah, baby.
I did not feel comfortable playing Rex. I think it was partially because I was, it was first time playing Fate for me, which I wasn't really the most comfortable with. I didn't really quite understand how it worked. I was coming from D&D 5e, which is a very combat-oriented D&D setting. Like, no matter when you break it down to brass tacks, it's a very I roll dice to hit things. I roll dice to. We were talking about this the other night. I roll dice to kill things in order to progress. Fate is not that. It is very much. I am trying to use the best of my abilities to get through a situation, and that's how we level up. But with Rex, he was disjointed. Like for me, like I wanted him to be multiple things when really I needed to focus on just either one thing, or I needed to just figure out what exactly he needed to be in the team, which kind of worked out in the end, like give or take. Granted, I mean, it took running a giant kaiju into a church.
It's funny that you mentioned Rex. It's funny that you mentioned Rex as a character like you had trouble getting into, and I do remember you struggling with that. You chatted with me about that. But also, that kaiju moment is one of the most iconic moments from any of the campaigns I've ever
The shack on the shack.
Oh my gosh.
I literally referenced that earlier today.
All the time. He references it all the time. It's great.
I was listening to a French song, and they said shack something like shack is in every.
Oh, yeah.
But I just turned to Shelly and said shack's your shack. Which literally means
Shack on shack.
Yeah. Anyway.
The big thing, though, was I played that character in that moment, but I didn't really use any of his skills. All I did was just kind of guide everyone else to use their skills in the right location for that plan.
Like that was less you playing Rex, that was more you playing yourself.
Yeah.
And it's your most iconic moment in that campaign, at least.
Yeah.
And one of my most iconic moments as a GM. And yeah, it's when you just kind of embraced being Meller. It's
I took over. I was just like, okay, here's the plan. We need a plan. It's not a good plan, but we'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side of that coin, there was Eddie. He was an Australian freaking rally car street racer that literally accidentally made a demonic deal because he didn't know French, or in actuality, he didn't know Latin when this guy talked to him. And he's just an absolute goofball that fucking like his main skill was literally just I can navigate the city like crazy because my driving skill was crazy hard. And like it was freaking like I don't know, it just was fun just to play like, okay, I'm an idiot. I got to be an idiot and just drive around and do things. Like everyone else can handle the serious bits. I'm just here for comedic effect.
Which in that campaign, that's one of the highest level campaigns I've ever ran.
Yeah.
And picking driving as your top skill
was so fun.
It was so stupid.
Driving is such a niche skill, though.
You're talking about stupid. You're talking to someone who made like magical C4 and napalm. Like,
but it worked.
I would say that was damn effective. I don't know. That was stupid.
Blew shit up.
That was quite clever, actually.
The only reason Eddie, I think, worked was because you allowed it and you gave me moments where driving could actually shine.
Well, part of that, too, is I think you underestimate how much you also made it work. Yeah, like, I was willing to work with you and such, but that's the thing. Is I think people are better at using skills that they want to use.
100%.
Obviously sounds so obvious, but it's something that can be so easily forgotten. Like, if you're a player who kind of holds a hammer most of the time,
you're going to know how to use a hammer.
Not only that, look for nails.
Yeah.
Look for nails. That's a very good comment.
Don't try to make everything a nail, but look for the nails because that's your time to shine. And you absolutely were great at doing that. And especially given the nature of that campaign being so focused on Paris as a city and its locations and all that.
It worked out.
We definitely talk about those. Actually, let's talk about those moments because those, like, we talked about some epic moments that we've had in some campaigns. So, what do you feel was your greatest moment as a GM?
You go, because you haven't talked enough.
Okay, fair enough. My greatest moment as a GM, I think, was when I've thought about this quite a bit. One of, if not the greatest moments I look back fondly is when you were when Stutz, you were in our Chicago campaign, and
Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah. Very similar.
Same
Same thing.
Were you basically playing the same character for the 2 campaigns? More.
Oh, it was a sequel.
Oh, you're right. Okay. That's
Not
fine.
basically,
Okay.
it literally was the same.
It was a sequel. Okay. Continue.
But you felt, I forget exactly the steps that led up to this, but you had this moment of, like, I need to do this, I need to do this alone, I can't put anyone else at risk. And you wrote this letter, your character wrote this letter for the other characters, for the other players to read. As you went into a red court vampire den all alone. And through several sequences, it was absolutely epic. There was a moment when, like, they arrived late, like, trying to get back you up after you've already started this epic fight with an uber ghoul. And you slapped him around the columns in this abandoned train station, firing fireballs left and right. Everyone else comes in late to the party, but they're trying to back you up, and it's looking bad. And I looked at the entire table and I go, do you guys trust me? Will you all give me a fate point? And you all threw it in this big pile. And we brought in, I'm so sad I forgot his name, but the white staff. Ebenezer. Oh my gosh, yeah, we brought in Ebenezer, and it was just this beautiful, shining moment. And after all of that, another moment with Ashley. Ashley gets up, walks around the table, slaps you on the face, gives you a huge hug, and we're all stunned silent. And I'm looking at Stutz while he's being crushed in this hug, and I go, is she okay? Is she all right? Like, she was heaving with sobs. Like, so emotional in this. And I thought that was oh my gosh, what a moment.
You know we have the audio file.
Yeah, I listen to it from time to time. I ride that high, man.
Shout out to Sam for recording and compiling the audio file.
Oh, it was epic.
Yeah.
I think right next to that, though, talking about Sam, is just a few sessions later, you're in a burning building, you arrived early, you're in a massive burning building trying to find innocents and get them out. You get right out of the fire, like, coughing with smoke. Sam then arrives on the scene with his character, and he's gone through this whole struggle of, I captured Red Court Vampire, bring in this detective. Detective has no idea what to do with a vampire. You can't throw a vampire in prison or anything or normal humans. Like, what do you do with this?
He's gonna eat them all.
So you've been struggling with, like, how do we bring justice to the supernatural world question. And he sees you, the fire mage, who burns everything to the ground, come out of a burning building.
Not my fault this time.
This time.
Yeah.
But and then he makes the decision to pull a gun on you and say, stop. And you decide, no, I'm not going to stop. And you try to do this disarming thing, but you were running ragged, you're running on fumes, and you lose control of the spell, and it does fall out, and where it hits Ashley's character on the side and knocks her out. And when you did that and failed, Sam shoots you in the knee, and you go down. And then right as that happens, all the cops surround you. He's like, everyone down to the ground, everyone's going to prison, everyone's going to jail. So, like, we lock all of you up. Holy crap, what a moment. It's the first time I ever experienced PvP.
Mm.
And that was such a cool moment to see, like, these arcs round out. And that was the moment when, oh my gosh, this campaign just is.
I wish we had more.
My diamond in the rough. Because right after that, while you were in prison, I made the decision with what was the landlady's name? Alana?
Something like that, yeah. I think.
But she kind of saw all of you as, like, her little kids, right? And she could not believe that something you did harmed someone else that she cared about. Ashley's character especially, and you lived in the building, and I prepped this thing where she was going to give you a pink slip to kick you out of the building. But before that scene happened, we reached the finale of the campaign. You chose to take an extreme consequence and to knock yourself out with it, to shoot this uber powerful supernova spell at the big boss character. And I determined because you voluntarily chose to take it, you fall into a coma, like unwakeable coma.
Was that for what, 6 months?
Yeah, when we went to the sequel. But then, as kind of an epilogue scene, Alana was there in the hospital room. She takes out the pink slip and rips it up. Like, oh my gosh, I feel so on top of the world as a GM in those sessions.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was... Everything about that was so crazy. Because,
Anyway.
Sam and my character started out as really close friends and as, like, not like co-workers per se, but, like, we worked together really well.
Oh, yeah. You guys started the prologue together.
Confidants.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were absolutely, like...
It was wild the direction that campaign took. And I still look at it fondly over the story we told.
And the funny thing was, too, is, like... So, yeah, Sam tells me to stop. And it's this really pivotal moment of Sam deciding that his character is Justice, but also my character being like, I basically don't care what you do to me, I'm not going to stop saving people. And it was a perfect way to show how they're ideologically, they became ideologically opposed.
Mm-hmm.
Of, like, I need to make decisions, and, like, I need to be the one to distribute justice. And me deciding like, kind of ego death, like, it doesn't matter what happens to me, what matters is what happens to everybody else. And, Sam basically decided, like, my character was a liability. The whole unmasking scene is the most part I think about that. Anyway. Oh, man, I love that campaign. That was such a good campaign. Man, those last 4 sessions or so.
Oh, they were banger.
Yeah, I went from the train station to the burning building, to the prison or the jail breakout to
The Lafayette Towers.
Tower. Yeah,
Oh,
just
man.
those last 4 sessions were. It was the culmination of so many character arcs all at once,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really fun. You don't get to see those kind of character arcs actually happen that often in campaigns, unfortunately. Which
We were fortunate
Yeah.
that they happened with it. It was just a perfect storm.
Which is something I also want to talk about at some point in the discussion. We don't need to get to that right now.
Sure.
I mean,
Character arcs.
Oh, yeah. Let me write that down. Okay. But yeah, your greatest moment as GM.
I think the only one that really comes to mind, like, as of current, is like a year and a half ago. I ran a one shot for about 12 different people, and I was able to, like, successfully, like, wrangle them to run this one shot, 12 players, and I was able to, like, get them to all, like, work together on this this one shot. I think it was to catch a sheep or something like that, or like a sheep dilemma.
Wait a minute. I think it's a pre-made one shot, right?
Yeah. Basically, you go about
Sheep Chase?
Yes, Wild Sheep Chase.
I
That's
love
one.
that module.
It's so good.
It's so well
It's a
written.
D&D 5e one shot. It's
Oh
like
my
meant for like
gosh.
level 2 to level 3 people.
I've watched
And you
one
were
of
in
them. It's so
12
good.
people through this?
Yeah,
That's way
Good
too many.
lord.
that was. It was. I mean, I made it work. But
At what cost?
entertainment. But, like, I think the biggest culmination though was, like, all 12 of them were still, like, I think 3 of them were down on the ground unconscious with death saves and whatnot. Like, I had to basically take this one shot and increase it by 3 of basically they were fighting these, like, amalgamations of bed dragons, like these dragons made out of wood and, like, just bed sheets and shit. And this wizard that turned himself into a gibbering mouther, I had him turn into, like, yeah, it's really good. I had him turn into, like, a low-level beholder instead that was just gone mad and crazy, just to, like, compensate for how many freaking people there were.
I prepped this for the Planeswalker campaign.
Oh, okay.
But the amount of like laughter and smiles that I got from just like everyone just having a good time and enjoying like them beating this combat, this like challenging combat that I set up for them, where several of them had just played D&D for the first time. Like just I got them to like kick into the bug of whether or not they want to play more or not. Was just I think my main one. There's a few others here and there of like my current campaign that I'm running of Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Just enjoying letting a player get through the culmination of their player arc. Like the story arc of their character is always enjoyable, satisfaction of just having them, solve massive issues for their character that they built their backstory around, and letting them just have a breath of relief of just like, it's done, it's over. I can move on and I can deal with bigger problems out in the world, or I can enjoy my time in retirement, depending on what they choose. I don't know. I don't think I have necessarily like super epic moments to say as of yet of like just, this will forever be a memory of mine as a GM.
That's more of an MJ thing. MJ goes for the big moments. You can tell he wrote this question.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, he wrote most of those questions, to be honest. Thank you, MJ.
Yeah, that's in terms of GM styles. That's always been MJ's like biggest focus. Is he thinks about really cool moments that could happen, and he tries to set up those moments and see what his players do. And he's done a great job at that, and that leads to some very memorable times.
Absolutely.
For me as a GM. It's like what's your greatest moment as a GM? That's the question, right?
I guess, but we can even format it a different way. Like this is kind of how Mellor answered. It's like, what are you most proud of? What's your proudest moment? What's your proudest achievement as a GM? It doesn't have to be a singular moment. It can be like Mellor said, like helping characters achieve their arcs and seeing how they resolve.
Yeah, getting those people to catch the bug.
Ironically enough, like, because I've been a player for both of you, I can actually name moments where it's like, these are moments that are stuck in my head and probably will be until I'm dead. Of like, the moment of like, you had a giant fight ring in Paris in the catacombs where Baja was planning to blow himself up with the Winter Queen. Like, that's like a great moment I have in my head for you as a GM, as a player.
That was going to be an actual.
Yeah.
Well, you tell it.
Yeah, so some context for this. This is MJ's character. His name's Baja. He was a half ogre. And he didn't know this, but his character was the son of the Hunchback of Notre Dame, whose name escapes me right now. Quasimodo.
We are all Quasimodo.
Yes, Quasimodo. And because of that, he had the potential to inherit being kind of like protector of the city. And that was a big theme of that campaign, was Paris as a city being this living, breathing thing, and like getting to know it and getting to understand it and stuff like that. But this fight gets ready, and Baja's character at this point had lost a lot of will to live.
To put it lightly.
His motivation was avenge my friend's death, then die.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was barely hanging on to any motivation of just like trying to get revenge, trying to right some wrongs, trying to more or less make his life mean something, and then end it. And
you would not let me kill myself. You would not let me go into suicide situations.
And that was part of what made that moment so glorious for me, is you had this fight and you were fully prepared to die. And you say I didn't let you. But the truth is, Baja didn't let himself.
No, he didn't. Well, to be fair, it looked like he was. Because I remember right before that fight started, like, he has all these powers as a half-ogre, right? And the thing with changelings is that you can make a conscious decision to fully accept your Fae parenthood and become a Fae, or you can accept yourself as a full mortal, a full human, and shed this Fey heritage that you have, that you lose all the powers. And I remember this. I forget the exact conversation, but there was a discussion between me and my opponent right before the fight happened, and he taunted me that I'm only anything, or like the only reason I could go into this fight was because, like, he was taunting me about my Fey heritage, about being a half ogre. That's the only reason I have any worth or anything. And I was like full into lore, great in thaumaturgy. I came up with these like magical napalm and C4, and I had a freaking sledgehammer that could like freaking 50 cal bullet at the end of it. And when Baja heard that, he goes, "Oh yeah, watch this," sort of vibe. Sheds all of his ogre powers, and that was when the session ended, I believe. And like we were gonna pick up the session, and when that session ended, I just rest my head in my hands. I go, "What did I do to my character?" Right before this epic duel, like wrestling match to the death, I shed all of my super strength.
Which you remember who your opponent was?
Yeah.
You wanna mention it?
Well, I forget what what he appeared to be at the start, but during that fight, and it was a fun as hell fight when everyone was there. But the duration of that fight, I figured out, or we learned that this was Quasimodo, and that the person who was responsible for the death of my best friend was the Summer Queen, who was there in the audience. And the moment I learned that, I chose for Baja to completely forget about Quasimodo. Like, my father abandoned me, whatever. Every problem Fey changelings have with their parents. And I take this magical C4, just pack it all into one big baseball, softball, and chuck it at the Summer Queen in the stands. I was like, this will kill me. I don't care. Fuck her. And Quasimodo reaches over, catches this bomb, and his arm essentially blows off in the ring. I go, no, how could you stop me? How could you not let it go? But it was an incredible moment.
So part of that, again, this whole like character arc going on, and his character, the whole deciding to be mortal thing. If he had decided to become Fey, he would have been a Summer Court ogre. So he would have been under the Summer Queen's power. She would have had full jurisdiction over him. And so his opponent, who at the beginning doesn't realize it's his father, is taunting him, saying your Fey heritage is all you're good for, and that inspires him to just shed it. Say, how could he? Yeah, he's your father who abandoned you, but also at the last moment, he both saved you from your own bomb and your heritage.
Yeah.
That's part of why that moment was so beautiful in my end, is it just being like, this is an opportunity for kind of a moment of making things right.
Making things better. I wouldn't say right.
Yeah,
there's a level of abandonment that you're not addressing in the moment.
No, but it is a parent trying to do right, no matter what wrongs they committed in the past.
100%.
And it wasn't the arc hadn't finished yet. There still was a little bit more that needed to happen.
Oh yeah,
because
man.
Quasimodo was meant to be kind of an extension of Paris, and so even though he felt aloof and distant, when it really came down to it, and this is the theme I was trying to share, is that when it really came down to it, what protected things in Paris was love. And that even if there's things that go wrong, and even if things go bad in the world, and even if things look like it's going to shit, love will be there to protect you when it matters.
I'll add on to this moment I think you should be insanely proud of. Was like that campaign holds a huge amount of sentiment to me. It feels like one of the best character arcs I've ever had as a character. I was also kind of in a dark place at that point in life. It's like you want to talk about like a bit of yourself in that character. Yeah. That was a bit obvious.
Yep. Yep. I was very concerned about what to do with that session, but
but I don't think the whole campaign, honestly. But
especially that session.
Minor,
but right at the end, well,
there was a lot going on.
A bit of context for kind of that final session. Up to that point, we were kind of in this investigation of like, why is Paris, like, why are supernaturals trying to take dominion of Paris when it's a mortal place? And we were doing all this investigation stuff, and through the investigation, we had encounters with what I dubbed the title of the Spirit of Paris. And
Mr. Paris, like as you call him.
Yeah, Mr. Paris is what we call him. But when looking back, Mike Baja was the only character who actually saw Mr. Paris.
Oh yeah, no, the rest of us
were all there to witness it, but none of your characters saw it.
None of us were close to the ring. None of us were like.
And it was the most interesting interactions I've ever had with, like, as a character trying to learn about someone, and because Mr. Paris was unresponsive.
Because he only knew how to say certain things.
Well, he didn't say anything.
No, he never said a word.
He never said a word. He would sometimes have a look or a gesture, but he never spoke. And he was always very unexpressive. But Baja, like, it was a weird moment of essentially Baja got to look at his reflection in a pond and just talk. And somehow this unresponsive, beautiful creature was a soundboard for Baja to almost look at himself.
Mm-hmm.
And it was and this kind of happened a couple times throughout the campaign. But at the very last session, he has this final moment. It's a culmination of everything. Supernaturals are trying to stake their hold on Paris. We're holding this sham wedding to draw people in and all this shit.
Oh my goodness, the wedding.
And right at the final moment, Baja gets one more vision with Mr. Paris. And up to this point, he was very afraid to make commitments, to make attachments, to make relationships. And like everyone was trying to bang someone. In this, with one of the NPCs. It's Paris, it's love. But he was really kind of not.
Because he didn't think he was going to live.
He didn't think he was going to live long enough for it to care, and he didn't want to. He's not a terrible guy. He didn't want to hurt someone. So he was very non-committal with a lot of things he did, or with the people he was with. But throughout the course of the campaign, the things that we've done, like freaking break-ins to supernatural strongholds, this epic fight in the ring, and everyone being there to support him. Like all the talks we had at Flanell's bar, just our beach episodes, essentially. Really, though. Yeah. Like he looks at Mr. Paris one last time, he goes, and he just comes to this realization of, like, I don't know if I can do anything in this situation. Like we're facing against the equivalent of gods in the supernatural sphere. And he goes, I don't know if I can do anything here, but I'm not going to stop trying because of the people I love. And at first, this was the people he loved were already dead. And through the course of the campaign, he found more people to care about and love and learn how to live for them.
Yeah.
And so right when that vision ends, and again, Mr. Paris doesn't say anything, but like always in my mind's eye, when I look back at that scene, it's right as the vision ends, like Mr. Paris just gives a little smile. And
he did.
Yeah. And Baja like literally takes his hammer, rings the huge bell, and says, "This is not yours. And if you like, be gone. You like this place is not for you. And if you, I forget the exact. It was way more elegant in the moment.
That is the one issue with like great moments in D&D. Like they'll hit you like a absolute firestorm.
Oh yeah.
But then it's just like I don't remember what happened.
But essentially, it was. It's like, hey, if you want Paris, it's over my dead body. And they both left.
Yep.
And like it was me staking claim as I am the protector of Paris, and like as Quasimodo. And it was, man, what a moment! Like that was a huge moment for me as a player and as Baja's character. So
the Paris campaign it was my magnum opus. I am so proud of that campaign. The ending was everything I could have ever wanted, and yeah, just that's one thing that it was a story I both needed to tell and needed to hear at the time. That even if everything's going to shit, even if it looks like there's no way out of the situation you're in, there will always be people who love and support you, and that love and support is what's going to save you, essentially. And that all it really comes down to is taking that moment to claim and accept that love and support, even if you don't think you deserve it.
That's kind of tabletop in a nutshell. Like,
yeah.
That is such a big thing that will go into it. Of like, yeah, we can talk about like, you know, the systems, the world setting, anything else. That's it. It does just come down to a little bit of fluff. While the main core of it is just trust amongst a group of people around a table that's like willing to, you know, give a piece of themselves in order to build this story out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so this is kind of an interesting question to ask right after that.
Oh boy.
Especially like this huge discussion and touching moments that we've had. What's the greatest mistake you've ever made as a GM?
Oh,
and I'll start with this one as well. It's kind of fitting about this because I think it was Chicago Season 2 that I made one of the greatest mistakes as a GM. Is the final session where it just kind of died. And I prepped this encounter where Sam's previous character in Season 1 became one of the big bads in Season 2. And you were all prepped as characters to go confront him. But he, and I justified this of, he knows you guys. He knows how you work, how you act. He's incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
And so he's hired the right people. He's prepped the right things so that when you come after him, he's ready. And
he was.
And he was. He really, really was. And I pissed all of you off. I pissed every single one of you off. Like, all of you were so upset at the end of that session. Like, because Mason was a weretiger, and I essentially made this hallway a kill box for him.
The only way to stop him. His character was fucking hard to kill.
But I made it a huge kill box, and when he finally like endured this kill box, got to the end of the enemy who prepped all this, they get through an escape hatch and like flew away in a helicopter.
You literally sawed him.
I sawed him. Yeah. And then I forget exactly what it did for Sam and Ash, but I remember for you, gosh, I felt so bad afterwards. Like really thinking about it, how it all happened. Where it was the Irish kind of freelancer guy who got hired for this job, and you come into the fight, and you throw spells around. He summons some things, you know, all this shit is happening back and forth, and then right at the end, like you thought you won the fight. It's like, okay, won the fight. Now before that, I also made a huge mistake. You decide like, hey, I don't want to fight you. Here, let's talk this out. And I just hard shut you down as a GM. And that was a feel bad moment.
So that was the real reason I was pissed after that, was because the character that you were representing didn't feel like he would do that.
Exactly.
He felt like he would banter with you.
No, this was, I hard shut that down, which I should not have. That was a huge mistake as a GM. And then afterwards, though, after you had blew a ton of resources, exhausted yourself, you know, in this fight, it was revealed that the guy you fought was a complete illusion, and that he was completely fresh. And like that was also a huge feel bad. It was a huge feel bad. I was devastated over this massive irreparable mistake that I made. And I vowed, like, I never want to repeat that mistake ever again. I never want my players to feel that bad ever again. Because what I really did was I took away agency from all of you as to what would happen that session, how you wanted to tackle the problem, if you wanted to tackle the problem at all, really. And I made it from I turned it from a cooperative storytelling experience to a kind of
it sounds like
a very adversarial approach.
It sounds like DM versus player, which
it became very much
something you very much want to avoid a lot of the time. But granted, it
can work, but you've got to take it very carefully.
Very moderation based.
And again, even if I am adversarial, I should never have taken away your guys' freedom of choice.
I think part of why this was such a big mistake for you is because it's you. Just for the record, for people listening,
I actually don't think that. I think you can arrange that kind of session. I think you should discuss with your players first. Is the big thing. If we went into this knowing this was the idea, it was going to be a story beat, and there will be better things afterwards, that's fine because then like trust is maintained.
Yeah.
What happened with this session was, I think that's what it comes down to, is more of a breaking of trust.
That's really what I did.
Because we knew MJ, and this is why it was such a big mistake specifically for MJ. For those who don't know, MJ's a huge Star Trek nerd. And if you've never heard of the Kobayashi Maru,
gosh, yeah.
The Kobayashi Maru is a no-win situation. But Captain Kirk doesn't believe in no-win situations. And that has always been one of MJ's like main guiding philosophies in his GM. Is there's no such thing as a no-win situation. You can find a way to win. You might have to break the rules, you might have to cheat the system, you might have to do something, but you can find it.
Or even redefine what you think of as winning.
Yeah.
But you can win.
Yep.
And in that session, MJ made a Kobayashi Maru, and he refused to let us hack it.
I refuse to let you win.
And that's why it was such a... Also, I think MJ's making it much harder on himself than he needs to be. He's making it sound like he was this horrible, like, vindictive.
I mean,
we were annoyed at the end of the session. We were not, like, pissed.
I think that's also like just something that everyone does. Like when you're in the GM's table, you are going to the most hypercritical person and that's going to be in the room is you.
Yeah.
Every time, and it, like you're going to look at it. This is going to be very black and white. Anyway, continue.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where the trust was broken. Is all of us were like, because actually I'll shout out, especially me and Mason. I can't really remember. I don't think Sam was playing because it specifically was his last. I think he was playing his old character in that session.
No, he was playing his character's father.
Oh.
What did you have set up for Sam?
I forget.
Oh, okay.
But like that in particular was what I felt bad about.
Gotcha.
Because basically, what really made, especially me and Mason, frustrated is both of us felt like we had done things that could have won our room.
Yes.
Like MJ made this kill box for Mason's Were Tiger. Mason made it to the end of the kill box.
Yeah, he was clever.
He was clever.
Smart.
He used his resources well. He rolled well. Like, in theory, he should have outplayed.
And I refused to let him.
That was the big issue. It just felt like an asshole. It's like, what's this point of this huge killer if she's going to escape out of a helicopter anyway?
Yeah.
And so the curtain kind of fell. We saw the man behind the curtain briefly. The man behind the curtain was just saying, no, you don't. And so that was the real issue. That, and again, like for me, what I was frustrated about is I went into this thinking, okay, I know this guy. You know, we'd run into this NPC a few times, and
Drake McGinnis.
And both of our characters were Irish.
We had a rapport.
Like we got along well. Like it was almost more of it was almost verging into a rivalry more than an actual like villain relationship.
Like I said, he was a freelancer. He was just hired for the job.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Sherlock versus Moriarty type of vibes.
No, that's like true nemesis. This is more like rival, more like I don't know. Yeah, I'm having a hard time coming anything.
Batman v Superman.
No, just more like if this wasn't our situation, we could actually be great friends.
Oh, what's a?
If you were both mages, you could be great friends.
Was he not a mage?
He was a mage.
Yeah.
But that was why. Like, if both of you weren't mages.
Oh, yeah. Or even just if we were on the same side of this.
Yeah.
And there's a great little mirroring going on, or like a lot like anime rivals that like the villain of the first series, like Vegeta maybe.
Yeah.
The villain of the first series becomes an ally. Like it felt like that kind of relationship where it could have become actual friendship. And I tried to go in there with that approach, and it was just there was just kind of this personality shift where all of a sudden he wasn't that person anymore. And that'd be fine if there was like some foreshadowing for it, or like like oh no, this is professionalism, but like it was a level of antagonistic that felt out of character. And then top it all off, the fact that he portrayed it as this boss fight, then told me, actually, just kidding, none of those hits did any damage. This was all an illusion.
Yeah. Like another dick move.
Yeah, a little bit, but like I mean, sometimes it has to happen.
Yeah, and like again, if there's
in the right place at the right time.
If there's any way to know, there was no way to know that. There was no foreshadowing. There was no hints during the fight. I was still taking damage. Like I was told to mark down damage on my character sheet. There's just then like no, just kidding. Those were illusions. You didn't actually take any damage. It broke the contract.
Yeah.
And there was some trust lost.
Oh yeah.
And it definitely killed a lot of momentum for that campaign. But also, I don't think that session was the only reason why that campaign died.
Yeah. But it was what killed it for me. Like that was my nail in the coffin. That I did myself. It was what felt super bad about it.
We are our own worst enemies, good sir.
Yeah, but
I mean,
no, there's a reason why. I mean,
that happens.
In the music industry, the sophomore slump. The sequel to something is usually much harder than the original.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sequelitis is a hell of a thing.
Yeah, I think it's very easy to lose sight of what made the original great. And focus on the wrong things.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's more of what happened with the second campaign. I still had a great time with the second campaign. I was even able to play after that, but the momentum definitely died a lot in that session.
Yeah. Anyway, that was me.
Yeah.
I have to defend MJ from himself a little bit. Okay, it wasn't as bad as he makes it sound, but there were some crucial mistakes.
It was bad. Anyway, what do you consider like one of your biggest mistakes as GM? I hope, but I know that we all learned from.
Mine was 2019. We were all in a Shattered campaign. I was the one at the wheel, and I was not ready to be at the wheel. So
this is more meta.
Oh, this is way more meta. This is going to be...
You're GMing when you are in a place that you should not have.
No. Yep. At the time, I was with an abusive girlfriend, now ex-girlfriend, and I was just, I don't know. I was just like not at a good place. I wasn't happy with myself. My job was
a theme here.
Maybe a little, but no, I'm fine now. I went to therapy. I got tattoos. We're fine.
I'm saying I was also not in a good place when I played Baja.
What about Chicago though? Like the sequel 2. Were you in a good place for that? Real quick. Could you say you were in a decent place?
I think it was in a decent place.
Yeah, like everything was going more or less fine.
Yeah.
We were all super tight. We were having wonderful campaigns. I think you fell off in the sauce.
Yeah.
Which can happen to anyone. Like this is
anyway. At some point, we're in an RPG when we are not in a good place. Anyway.
Yeah, but like I remember just that session. I think I don't even remember like how it happened. I just remember the emotions around it and like the kind of just the roiling in my head of like how I was feeling. I just remember like we were going into the session. Some of my lore bits were not making sense to anyone, including myself. Like it was just like we literally had to just look back. Like suspension of disbelief was just thrown out the fucking window, where everyone at the table would just be like, okay, it just is the way it is because it is. Because I had no words that could actually like make it make sense. I don't even remember why or what it was. I don't remember
this either, honestly.
I do remember.
I remember specifically because there was just a moment where you were just like, fuck. And I was just like, shit, I just made him feel so bad. And I was like, I remember I was like, I don't want to be here. I looked at you and I realized you didn't want to be at my table anymore, and that was the worst feeling in the world. And I felt so bad. And I was just like, I don't know if there's anything I can do. Like, I don't even know if I even apologized for it back in the day.
Again, Miller's making this sound much worse than it was.
I don't know, man.
As a GM, we are our own worst critics.
Oh, very much so.
Because we see all the cracks.
Yep. But like,
I'll tell you my respect after you finish.
Fair enough. But it was just like, I don't know. It was just a bad session. It literally just came down to I was in a bad place. I was in a bad mental state. It became a bad session because of it. But like, I think after that session, however, I do want to say I think it got a lot better. My self-awareness kicked in and I realized this isn't where I want to be. That was rock bottom. And that was like, I never wanted to do that type of session again. I wanted to shore up my cracks and like glue everything down and make sure that I could do better and keep going forward, which, you know, like you said earlier, just learning from the mistake and just continuing on, which I think I brought it to a good season finale for that campaign.
Was that not the last session?
No.
It was the session before that.
I think it was.
No, it was. I think we did about 12 more sessions after that session.
Oh, the campaign wasn't that long. We did 12 sessions.
So we did not do 12 sessions.
It was something like there was a decent amount of sessions though.
Like maybe
I do
12
remember
sessions
that.
total.
Could be.
But
So that campaign did not go super long.
No, because I mean, we all realized, like, I literally said it at the table of like, I need to work on myself. I need to bring this back when I'm happier.
Yeah. I remember that conversation.
It happens. I mean, you got to take care of
I
it.
will say a similar moment where you called me out.
Oh, yeah.
We were in the middle of the Cyberpunk campaign, and it was, I think, the last session, and just people.
It was my last session. I think y'all continued on.
No, I'm pretty sure I ended it if not that session, very soon afterwards.
Okay, I don't remember.
But it was.
I thought you at least had like 2 or 3 sessions after.
It was the pandemic happening at the time.
Yeah,
a lot of people were not in a good place.
I was having a good place. I was in therapy.
But in the middle of the session, people were posing questions and like inquiring as to what they can do, what they need, and all that. And my responses were very curt. They were very hard, like very sharp. They were very like unargumentative, like
it was just a shutdown
no nonsense.
In every corner. It was a lot of your questions too. I was like, I felt bad.
I was like hats too, actually.
Yeah,
like you're posing questions and asking, and I just went no, or like it felt like there was tons of frustration.
Just for like 5 minutes, it was just like
it was bad. And you interrupt me and go, MJ, like, can I say something real quick? Like, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Are you good?
No. You says, I remember this very clearly. It's like, why are you so fucking mad?
I do not remember saying that.
No, you were curt.
I remember you.
You did not mince words. You punched me in the face with those words. You said, "Why are you angry?"
I am pretty blunt.
Yeah,
you were sitting right next to me when that happened.
Yeah,
it was when we were living together.
Yeah, but I do remember that. Which means we must have had at least one more session after, because I did at least one session when we had not in that apartment.
Okay.
But you lost your notes in the move, which is part of the problem.
Yeah.
So like the last session was together.
The sacred text.
but like after you asked me that, I literally held my head in my hands, like just like this, and I had to look at myself and go, why am I so pissed off right now? And I could not answer that clearly, and I just quietly said, guys, I'm really sorry. We should end session here.
Yeah, I mean.
I remember that. Yep.
Sometimes you don't know.
That was a wake up call that I really needed. Anyway,
I don't know. I just shit happens.
I remember that because I remember thinking like, damn, Miller, we're all thinking of them.
I don't mince words when I don't.
I was simultaneously like annoyed with you and grateful for you at the same time.
That's
I was
fair.
like, dude, chill out. This isn't gonna help. But then it did. So I was just wrong. But I was like, why do you think this is going to help? And then actually, it did. It ended up kind of, I mean, it helped in the end of the campaign, which needed to happen. But anyway, I was like, right. But I was also thinking, like, someone said it. Like, it was one of those things where like I would have liked MJ to come to that realization himself, but he wasn't going to.
Yeah, no, I was not in the headspace to be clear-minded about it.
I think that was the thing that I realized in that moment of like, someone needs to say something, or else this is going to continue for 30 minutes, and I am not interested in being around for it. Like, it was very much like okay, I wouldn't do this unless I absolutely had to. And the only reason I did it was because if I was doing this type of thing, I would want someone to say something to me.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
Like I said, I was a mixture of annoyed and grateful for you. In hindsight, more grateful. In the moment, more annoyed.
Yeah.
That was a funny one.
And honestly, you probably were more annoyed and be like, don't talk to my friend like that. Fuck you.
No. I know tough love is a thing that some people get sometimes. It wasn't necessarily that. It was more of a, I don't even know. I was just, I think I was also just a bit angry because the mood in general was angry. And
it was not a good vibe. Like, it was just, it felt like.
More than anything, I had no capacity to see myself clearly in that moment. And that was just a huge bucket of water in my face. Like,
literally,
hey,
like,
look at yourself.
that shattered session I'm talking about, that was literally me. It was like, I couldn't feel anything. I couldn't think of anything because I was just roiling in emotion. You know, you just kind of lose yourself.
But to go back to that, you're making it sound a lot worse than it was again. I at no point have I ever thought I do not want to be sitting at another's table. You have never made me feel that in a campaign. There have been times where I've been like, I don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah.
But never been as more like, I don't want to come back to this table.
I think we've all had those types of moments of like, I'm not sure what we can do in the moment.
I think we've had those moments.
You just kind of have to hope that someone else will bring something up.
Yeah. And I have been at tables that I thought I don't want to be at this table anymore.
Same.
Back. I've never had that with either of you guys. So let that record show.
Same.
And in terms of that moment where like everything was kind of like just not making sense and all that, I want to remind anyone who's thinking about GMing, your players will have more grace for you than you think.
Oh yeah.
Hell, they might come up with more good ideas than you do. Like in the moment, like
all the time.
Have a notebook next to you, because sometimes your players will just be like, what if it's this idea? I'm like, it fucking is now.
The number of times that happens in every campaign.
Yeah, like I kind of mentioned earlier, like it's crazy how much stuff your players will think you have prepped when it's actually just completely off the seat of your pants. On the same measure, your players will understand sometimes that prep does fall short, and there are things that don't make sense, and you're trying to change direction. The retcons need to happen. I think most of the time, much more often than you think, at least, your players will be much more willing to understand and forgive that, because at the end of the day, they're going to make a ton of mistakes, and they're going to expect you to kind of just look over it.
I mean, we're writing a story together. Yeah. Like a GM is just as much at the table as the players are. Absolutely.
Yeah. The GM player relationship. I mean, the player gets to make a mistake, and the GM asks them, "Are you sure about that?" And then they can undo it.
Yeah.
There's much less of that wordage happening for the GM side of things, but players still extend a lot of that same level of grace of like, "Hey, I don't think this is what you meant. I don't think this is what you intended. I think this isn't going where you intended. If we need to change something, that's fine."
So actually, if you hear both of your guys' stories, be a little softer in your yelling at yourselves.
So to make this into an analogy, like how many times have we played a game that isn't quite polished or is a little buggy, but we love the gameplay, we're having tons of fun, and then we encounter a bug where things shake out. It's like, okay, we need to reload like 15 minutes ago, but that's okay. I'm still loving the game. We can just cross over that bug and keep going.
I played Cyberpunk on release, dude. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
But like,
did you play on console?
As players
on console, on PlayStation 4,
God, yeah.
The worst one.
But like,
I can forgive some.
You are completely correct. Like, as players, if we are loving the game, we are willing to give a lot more grace to the cracks, to the bugs, to the hiccups. Yeah.
Absolutely. So
I was like, what game do we all played together? And then immediately came in mind on Showdown.
Oh my gosh.
Buggiest game, like 3v3 game you've ever played, but man, is it like just such a good time.
What's my biggest mistake as a GM? I don't make mistakes. I'm perfect.
Hell yeah.
I need to give myself less grace, actually. There's been quite a few. Most of it comes down to I have a hard time, I think, prepping appropriately. Mm-hmm. And I think I've had some of my worst sessions have been ones where I didn't prep enough, and my players just kind of piddled around wondering what they're supposed to do, and I didn't give them any guidance.
Do you have an example?
No, because that's the thing is those sessions are extremely forgettable.
Fair enough.
And I think that actually is a very insidious mistake.
Was the experimental wood room one of those sessions?
No, I love the experimental wood room. Are you kidding me?
I did
Shelly
too.
hated it.
I love that room.
And the answer is, surprisingly, only kind of.
What an answer!
The experimental wood room itself was made up in the moment off the seat of my pants. Everything else around it was prepped, but the experimental wood room itself, completely out of nowhere.
Didn't you have to like make? I'm trying to remember. Like we were in like a maze or something. This was for a Norse.
The Midgard campaign.
Yeah, it was a Norse-based campaign that we were playing in. Like we were trying to find some type of history or lore. I think like, it was like the
location of the three fates.
Yeah, and then
you guys need to consult them to figure out how to slay Fafnir.
But we somehow ended up in this wood room that was just.
I love it.
It wouldn't let us escape if we gave up something, and like it just kept on doing weird shit the whole time. Like,
and all of you were trying so hard to make sense of it, and somehow I figured it out like that.
There's nothing to figure out.
Exactly, you just flip with the flow of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just gave up immortality. It was fine.
The point of that room is it would have taken pretty much anything you offered it. But people were getting way too lost in the sauce about what should be offered, what counts, and like all this stuff. And they just.
Oh, Shelly hated that room.
Oh, she threatens to divorce me every time I bring it up.
But rather go back to my biggest mistake. Maybe I should think of the experimental wood room as at least up there. But the Viking campaign actually, this is a good thing to bring up. The Viking campaign I specifically ran to try a different style of running a campaign for me. I prepped the Viking campaign more than I prepped any other campaign. I ran it with experience-based encounters. I had dungeons. I had cities. I had maps. I tried to run the most traditional D&D 5e campaign I could possibly think of, as if it was written like in a module, which meant tons of prep. Tons of prep. Especially because we were initially using Roll20 for it, and so I had to actually prep maps for the battlefields and all that.
Right.
Yeah.
I had to prep effects and things like that, so it was very prep heavy.
That sounds exhausting, low key. Like
It is.
It is, and
Having done it for Cyberpunk, holy moly.
it was also extremely rewarding.
Yes.
The problem is you cannot coast. Once you run out of stuff you prepped, there's no more content. You're done. Like it's bad. You can't just like kind of fiddle around. And actually, I'll go back to the Midgard thing here in a second. But just in terms of like not prepping enough and having my players not know what to do and not be able to get the direction, I think that is a really good way to really good way. That's going to kill momentum in your campaign really quickly, because your players are going to the next session thinking, we didn't accomplish much and I don't know what we're going to accomplish next. There is no leftover hype. There's no incoming hype. It's just, I guess we'll try again. And it becomes a bit of a grind. So that's that. I would say that those are my biggest mistakes, because they don't seem like these huge, like, oh, I broke my player's trust, or oh, like, I made this one player feel like it's not anything that's like that big or dramatic, but I think it can kill a campaign just.
Yeah. No, that's very good.
Yeah. Going back to the Midgard one, actually, there was a pretty major mistake I made in that campaign. And this is another one I think I suffer from a lot, especially like with a lot of my background being in writing, being an English major. It's very easy to focus a bit more on one character than others.
Mm-hmm.
And in that campaign, especially, there was such a charismatic and like
No, don't throw Tavatos under the dome.
I'm not going to go. It's not Tavatos' fault.
Oh, okay.
It's my fault, in fact.
I love Tavatos. Tavatos.
Holy crap.
Tavatos is one of my favorite characters I've ever had the pleasure of DMing.
Yeah.
And when he died, a lot of my own excitement for the campaign went down.
Yeah.
And I think as a GM, that is a risky thing to become so attached to one of the player's characters, because there will come moments where I don't regret killing Tavatos at all. I think that was a thematic and extremely appropriate way for his character to go.
What an ending.
Mm-hmm.
I love that session.
It came out of nowhere, honestly.
Yeah.
He was hot fire.
Yeah.
He was blazing hot
Oh, no,
fire.
he was burning through his fucking candle like crazy.
Yeah. And to have this, this big major city,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have this big major city arc with the skeleton pirates and like saving his siblings and all that. But the problem is, over the course of the campaign, I had allowed so much of the campaign to be progressed by Tavatos that when he died, Cam had to make a new character.
Yeah.
Which is wild. That someone else's character died, and that sparked someone making a new character. It was almost as if two characters died.
I think mostly it was Cam was just very bored with playing a monk. He needed more fiddly bits.
Yeah, mechanically he wasn't having a great time. That was part of it. I think
At the same time, I think he would have enjoyed more of the storytelling had Tavatos survived.
Probably.
But because Tavatos died, a lot of the storytelling of
We explored what it's like to roleplay siblings. That was a huge amount of fun for us. And so when Tavatos died, that dynamic was gone.
It crumbles.
It crumbles. And so that level of enjoyment is gone. Therefore, if I don't like the mechanics of my character, what am I doing?
I think also, I think it could have gone either way. It could have either made or broke Jess and Cameron's characters.
Yeah.
Because they could have, it would have changed their story and their probably their actions and their nature intrinsically, but it still could have made something of an interesting story of my brother is gone.
And he was the leader of the three, absolutely.
He was the leader. Now who's going to fill his shoes? And if they are, then how are we going to do it?
And I think that was where a big part of my mistake came in, is I did not, I allowed that dynamic to become as heavy as it was, and I did not offer any kind of in-story way for those characters to move through it.
I mean, that is also kind of up to the players as well. Of
it is
it's got to be a give and take of
they have to want to explore it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just mainly think I did not transition well from Tavatos era to post Tavatos era.
Yeah.
And I didn't give the players really a way to grieve, honestly.
What was your second character's name? I remember he was just a drunk elf.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he was not an elf.
Was he not an elf?
No,
I
he
always
was just a
imagined him as
drunk
an elf.
guy. Yeah.
Just a dude.
Just a dude. His name was Andor Scumring. That's right.
That's
Scumring.
disgusting. What the fuck?
Yeah. That was another thing too. Is I also did not do a great job of incorporating the character. There was quite a bit of tension, not tension, but firstly, friction with some of the characters going from
definitely.
a
I mean,
super
for
honorable,
sure.
good person who is trying so hard to make the world a better place to this guy who's just completely selfish and douchebaggery.
We found him in a barrel.
Yes.
Drunk 24/7.
In a barrel.
Yeah. I'll tell you now, Shelly did not enjoy playing with
I'm so sorry. Oh gosh.
But again, I think that was a big pacing issue for me, as I put so much emphasis in the story on Tavatos. Which part because Tavatos fit the spotlight. He wanted the spotlight.
He was the hero. He literally that's like a Norse classic right there of just the hero, just Thor,
Yeah. But I didn't allow the rest of the story to have the room to breathe. I didn't allow time for grief. I didn't allow time for someone else to take up the mantle. I didn't even necessarily allow the mantle to be that shared before he died even. So I think that's another big mistake that I've made. More than once, I think that's the most egregious example of it. Because the momentum of that campaign dipped hard after that. We kept going for a while still after that.
Yeah.
But it definitely was not the same campaign afterwards.
It lost a lot of steam.
Yeah.
I still fondly look back at the Thanatos stuff. Holy crap, I loved the Thanatos.
I would still
Why did all the best characters die?
because they burn hot and fast. Like literally, Cyberpunk said it. Like, life of small living or fucking go out blaze of glory.
Yeah.
Like,
And Tavatos was all about glory.
glory.
Yeah. So that is one potential pitfall of GMs. Like, it's okay if there's actually, I want to have a discussion about players at some point.
Oh, yes, I have questions about players and characters and such as
The
well.
whole thing.
That is one advice I want to give right now to anyone. If you're playing in a campaign, don't be afraid to be the main character.
Yeah,
Don't be the only main character.
that was the biggest mistake. And for me, I became the main character.
I think you actually did a decent job of trying to share this well with your siblings.
Yeah,
And
I felt so bad.
you had a good dynamic with Kevin's character.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, we were competitive.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was so fun.
I definitely had my moments. I know for a fact I had my moments. I collapsed a whole entire river on top of myself and Kevin's character. It was hilarious.
Gosh, I remember that. Holy crap.
Why do some of your stories end with the destruction of a river?
I don't know.
Or a river causing other destruction? But anyway, don't be afraid to play the main character.
Yeah, no,
Make sure you're not the only one.
take the spotlight, but make sure to share it. Like, enjoy its warmth, but,
I think one of the best things you can do as a player, this is actually partially why I enjoy charismatic bard characters so much. There is no better person to shine the spotlight on somebody else than a bard, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
As their entire role is take the spotlight and then redirect it.
Yep.
And so you just don't be afraid to play the main character. I think that's a common pitfall a lot of players fall into is, I don't want to take all the attention, I want to take all the time, and so they don't take the big drastic steps. And if no one does that, the campaign slows down real quick.
Oh, yeah.
And if only one person does that, the campaign gets going, but then it can die. So it's good to have more.
That is a fragile balance if it's one person.
Oh yeah. It's also like a matter of like, don't also hog. It's very much of a back and forth. Don't be afraid to take the spotlight, but also don't hog it. Like,
I will comment. That was one of the funnest things about the Daggerheart combat system. It's asking someone to take the reins and then still be willing to share it with other people.
100%. I don't know if you've had the pleasure yet.
We'll have to do a one shot or something because it's fantastic.
I would absolutely love to run a one shot with
Also,
you
we
at some
have to
point.
talk about your campaign at some point because I want to play my frog bard.
I know. I thought you turned into a. Did you turn? I
It's
thought
a
it was
frog bard.
Okay, it is a frog bard. I thought you did goblin for a bit, but then anyway.
Yeah, it was a goblin.
Once later down the line.
Anyway, all right, dang it! Holy crap, I'm loving this.
That was a good session.
I got one last question to kind of round this out because we're reaching a little over. I think we just reached 2 hours, or
Give or take, we got like 7 minutes or 2.
Yeah. So then let's end this with this, so it's not too long. Holy moly, 2 hours.
That'll be good.
Let's end with
You can
this.
always cut it a little bit.
With everything that we discussed, do you think everyone should give GMing a try?
Yes.
No.
All right. Well, like, what's the reason behind those answers?
Yeah, as the opposition, I guess I'll go first.
Okay, hold on. Let's do a majority. What do you think?
Oh, what do I think?
Yes.
Should everyone give GMing a try? Oh, that's a hard answer. It's delicate because I want to say no, but it's a very soft no.
Keep in mind, I have caveats to my yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I think we might have similar answers, but go ahead.
Probably. The main reason I say no is because at the end of the day, this is a game. This is an opt-in. And while I think a lot of people really benefit trying GMing and learn a lot from it, I think for a lot of people, the intimidation factor, the pressure factor, and stuff like that would be really discouraging, really disheartening.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I mean, I had some regrets that I've done as a player, but those regrets are not nearly as deep cutting as the regrets I had as a GM.
That's fair.
And if you really have a rough time the one time you try GMing, it might really put you off of role playing games in general. And I think you're doing yourself a disservice by thinking, oh, I have to try this.
Yeah, I like that.
I was right. We are going to say very similar answers.
Yeah.
I say yes, but I'm the other side of that. Of like, I think there should be a caveat of everyone should try to GM, but it should not be like I'm going to jump into and make a full ass campaign. It should never. It should be a one shot. Like everyone should at least try running a one shot if they want to specifically. Like if they ever want to sit in the chair and they want to make something or like run some type of module, even like there's no shame in running just something that's pre-made. Like if you want to try and run,
like I encourage first-time GMs to do something pre-made.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That cheap one we mentioned.
Wild Cheap Chase, it is a fantastic one shot.
I think one of the funnest one shots to run is Weavy Goblins.
Yeah.
Holy
so
crap,
good.
the chaotic fun you just let your players have is incredible. And if you miss something or if you misrule something, it doesn't matter.
You're
goblins.
Who gives a shit?
Like, kill it, basically on the verge of killing each other and yourselves.
I love it.
Yeah, 100%. Was it you that ran the Pathfinder 2nd Edition one where we like high level goblins?
No, that was me.
Oh, and we were running a Wizard's Tower. I remember that so much. I was like, I want to run that level 15 goblin monk somewhere.
Oh,
I just kept on beating the crap out of people with other people's heads.
Oh, man.
I was the sorcerer who couldn't be cleric.
Yeah.
Or the sea god.
But I think my answer in response to yours is if they want to give it a try as a GM. I think also though, even if you're not interested to be a GM, if you're looking to try to learn how to be a better player, I think there's a lot of value in opening yourself to try GMing one time in a one shot, seeing what it's like being behind that screen, rolling those dice, coming up with the rules, trying to juggle the crazy shenanigans your players throw your way. I think there's a lot of valuable things to learn. If you're looking to up your game as a player, I think there's a lot of value in GMing once and seeing what's like on the other side.
Just it can easily just be a one and done thing of like, you do it once, you never touch it again. That's fine. That's great. If you randomly get the bug, that's even better because, you'll be another DM that's willing to take on stupid players that, just build a story and whatnot. Like, I don't know.
I remember in our first RPG group, everyone did try being a GM at least once.
Yeah.
With the exception of Mason.
I think that was a lot of fun. And there's definitely a lot of those things I'm going to reference when we talk, if we do this again, of other topics. Like especially GMing for the first time, preparation, improvisation, and how it all works out. So,
yeah, I think Mason's actually a great example. He technically did GM once. He ran, I think we literally did like a Fortnite one shot where everyone came with just Pathfinder characters.
Oh yeah,
it was battle royale style, just nonstop combat. Like,
it was just fun.
Cool.
Yeah, it was just fun. It was just chill.
And that's the thing too. Your one shot doesn't have to be deep.
No, not at all.
It can be as simple as you want. It can just be a fight.
Yeah.
Run a combat.
Yeah. So he technically did GM like once.
Yeah.
But I think Mason's actually a great example of like, I don't think he necessarily learned anything in particular from that GM one shot. I don't think he necessarily gained any more appreciation for it. Mason is one of my favorite players to have either that I'm running for or running with. Some of the stuff I've done with him is I think he's an amazing player. I'm sure he would do fine as a GM, but I honestly think I would not say Mason, oh yeah, you definitely need to try GMing. I'd be like, no, you have a lot of fun as a player. You bring a lot to the table as a player. There's no need.
Yeah. But I will say too, like the one time Shelly tried GMing, I had so much fun with that. It was simple. It was straightforward. Like it wasn't deep or like complex puzzles or anything. But man, it was fun.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good time. And she thinks fondly at that time too. So
That's good.
I remember when Ash did Dread for us.
there's
That
also
one
like
round.
8 players for the one shot. Which is
Yeah.
ridiculous, but
Yeah, no, that would be crazy.
First time
Oh,
GMing, one shot
jeez.
like 8 players. Yeah,
That was intimidating.
she did not realize how much she was biting.
But man, what fun.
Probably should add a caveat to that. Like, if you're starting out and you want a GM, get like maybe 3 to 4 to 5. Like, that's your best bet.
Yeah,
Like,
say
try not to
3
do
to
it.
4.
Yeah, so try to stick to like 4 or less if you can. 5 is pushing it.
Especially for
Can-
GM.
can you absolutely run a one shot with a lot of people? Yes, it's probably the best way to run a lot of people. It is not. It is daunting, to say the least.
I basically GM'd for a year just one-on-one.
Yeah.
Before I even started choosing players. So like learning how to balance one player, and I think maybe that's probably why I struggled with the main character thing so much, is because my very core foundation of GMing was one player.
Maybe.
I think about that.
Honestly, though, that's like such an interesting like start point.
Yeah, it's very, very unique. Always. It's funny because now I don't know how to run one-on-ones very well. After I'm with Shelly, like trying to run the world, I don't do it very well anymore.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, though. Should we close it out?
Sure. Thanks. We've been talking about this for over a month, I think.
Yeah.
And like I've been on a real kick of like discovering and reading about new RPGs coming out, and I already have a couple rule books that I'm so excited to run someday. I still have some rule books I've never ran and I'd love to sometime. And just being able to chat all this out has been so much fun.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining me, guys.
I'm surprised how much I learned about you too. I thought I did pretty well, but like a lot more to learn apparently.
I think that's the thing too. Like when you want to GM well, and here's another thing too. For people like recommending should people try GMing for the first time or not? When people have that fear, it's important to know it's epic when you prep well and you GM incredibly well.
The highs
for
are
the table.
insane.
Oh yeah.
The highs are insane. It is also incredibly fun and funny to GM poorly. Because consider some of the first times we GM'd, we were certainly not good at it.
No.
But man, did we still have fun.
Absolutely.
So if you're anyway, yeah. First time GMing shouldn't be a scary experience. It definitely is.
But it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be. It's not like you're giving a speech in front of the class in the auditorium.
You're just with 3, 4, 5 good friends, and you're just building something.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's something you enjoy at the end, we'll see. But like you'll at least have a good time while you're doing it.
And at some point, everyone's gonna joke. Everyone's gonna throw out puns, dirty jokes, like
So many dick jokes.
So many.
So many damn dick jokes.
But it's a load of fun. If you're open to it, curious about it, don't be afraid to try it. And we can talk a lot more about first time GM and things like that later. But yeah.
Alrighty, y'all. This has been GM's Table. We will see you maybe on the next one if this still exists.
A roundtable.
Roundtable. GM's Roundtable. There we go.
Table's open.
It's close.
Close enough. All right.
Bye.